Hey folks, Dayhager from the 6 here, coming to you from Lévis, Quebec, just outside of Quebec City, and I've driven hundreds of kilometers up here to show you some phenomenal lightweight trailers. Today we are looking at the F2114, and this is the middle child in Safari Condo's lineup. So they have several 17-foot models, and then they have a 24-foot model, and in between is this 2114. And its claim to fame is, well, twofold. Very Safari Condo-like. It's lightweight at only 2,353 pounds dry. That's before options. And also, it's a composite trailer made out of an aluminum plastic honeycomb. It's long-lasting trailer, really high quality. We're going to do our usual. We are going to walk around the outside, and then we're going to take a closer look at this beautiful interior, and then we'll do our pros and cons. Let's get started. All right, folks, we're going to start on the outside of the F2114. And we're going to start on the camp side. It is a little tight. We're right up against another trailer, so bear with me. And we're going to start at the very back corner where we have our stabilizers. And we also have a bumper, which is right there. And you can see that the spare tire is mounted at the back of the trailer. Now, as we go down the campsite, you're going to see the first of 4 storage doors. I can't open this one because it's locked, but there is one other one that's open. But we have 4 huge storage areas under the benches inside, which I'll show you when we get inside. And you have access to all of them from the outside through these big storage doors. And these are huge doors. You can fit a grill through them. So you can basically pick which ones you want to use as inside storage, pick which ones you want to use as outside storage, and pretty much anything you'd want to put in there is going to fit. We do actually have a mount, so you can move the table from inside to outside. So if you're boondocking, you can actually set up your table outside if the weather is good. We have the inlet and the outlet for the Truma Combi furnace. And then spinning down, this one has the optional caravan mover. And basically there's going to be one of these drive motors on either side, and that allows you to move the trailer around a campsite or park the trailer by remote control. And so if you're nervous about towing and about backing up a trailer, this is a great option to circle when you get your build sheet. And it's a good time to probably mention too that with Safari Condos, you pretty much pick whatever equipment you want. So you get a build sheet, you pick all the options you want. And now this would be standard, and this is a 2 120 volt outlets. These are the standard alloy wheels. You can get larger ones if you want to. And now, we have one of these beautiful awning style acrylic windows, and this one is spectacular just because it's right at the kitchen, as you can see. So you can cook, you can hand things out, you can set up your table out here. It's just a really smart design. I love the way everything is laid out to make that work. Now as we come towards the door here, we have a grab handle to help you when you're getting up through the step, and we also have a porch light to light things up. And then as we come down, you'll see that we have a single step, very simple design. I like simple because it's less likely to break. So when you're traveling, you just put it in like so. And when you're camping, you pull it out like so. Very simple design. Now we're going to open the door up here. And I'm just going to show you that we do have a screen door, or a screen. And so that'll keep the bugs out, allow you to have as much ventilation as you want. Very nice feature. And to hold the door when you're using it, we have a little holder here, and it just simply sort of snaps into place, which is nice. And coming along to the front corner, we've got another stabilizer. We have another one of these large luggage doors. This one is also locked, but the one on the other side is open, so we'll get to take a look at that. But again, just a huge door, plenty of space underneath those benches inside the trailer to store all of your camping gear. We've got 2 portal windows, one on the door and one by the dinette, which you'll see when we get inside. And you'll also see the optional full-length awning up at the top. And as we get onto the nose of the trailer, you can see we have our battery box here. We also have an Arvika bike rack. Now this is a specific Safari Condo factory rack, but if you have a non-Safari Condo trailer, check out my Arvika discount code. You can get one of these racks for just about any trailer out there. We have dual propane tanks on this unit. Because we're in an indoor showroom, they can't be installed, but they would be there. We have a manual tongue jack. Of course, you can spec a power tongue jack if you so choose. And this trailer is also equipped, actually I'll come around to this side, with weight distribution, so that is an option One that I would recommend if you're towing it with a smaller tow vehicle like I do with my trailer. Now, spinning around to the utility side, we've finally got a door that we can open here. And there you go. And you can see it's full, it's got a toilet and a whole bunch of promotional materials, just a huge amount of space. And you'll see these huge storage areas when we get inside the trailer as well. Coming along to the middle of the trailer, we've got our vents for our fridge, and it's a large fridge. You'll see that when we get inside. And then below that, we have our dump station. And Safari Condo has a nice design where it swings out of the way when you're not using it. And then when you're using it and you're actually dumping, you can push it down like so. So we'll pull that back up again, and you have your gray and your black here. You also have the freshwater drain mounted here as well. Another one of our alloy wheels in the second caravan mover. Then we have our 30 amp connection. It's the separate cable with no hole in the trailer, which means mice or bugs can't get in through there, which we like. We have our fresh water and our city water connection below that. We do have an outdoor shower spec'd on this particular trailer, and then another one of these huge storage doors. And then of course, last but not least, we have our stabilizer at the back corner here, and we're back to that back bumper and spare tire. Lastly, outside, Safari Condo uses the plastic aluminum honeycomb, both for the underbelly and for the roof. And up top, you'll also see that solar can be ordered directly from the factory. And let's head inside the F2114. And we'll give you the lay of the land first. On the right, we have a large 4-person dinette. Right across from the door, you have a 2-door fridge. And then right beside that, you have the bathroom area, nice coat hooks. And right to the left of the door is the kitchen. And then at the back, you have your seating area / king bed / 2 twin beds, whichever you prefer. So let's take a look in a little bit more detail. And we're going to start with the dinette. In this dinette area, you have 2 huge storage areas under the benches, and the one on the left is full of promotional materials, so I'll show you the one on the right, but they're both the same. And you can see, and you have access from both inside and outside to this storage area. Just a massive amount of storage. Now, we don't have any shelves up top here because we have the big front window, but you can imagine just the huge panoramic view that you get here. Now, this comes down into a full queen bed, and basically the table is going to form, it's going to close the gap. We're going to use those 2 cushions to fill it in, and I'll show you just at the front, there is a cushion for the front part of the bed as well. So plenty of space for sleeping as well. And yes, all windows in Safari Condos come with some form of blackout blind, and you can see even for these ones in the dinette area, we do have a blackout blind, just held very simply by 2 snaps. Simple, easy design. We also have an optional fan, and there is a neat LED light built into the window. And of course, the window has both blackout shade and screen built into it. And yes, this big front window does open. And of course, you can have any combination of these 2 that you want, just like so. And there we go. Just open that up again. And you'll have that on all of these awning style windows. And it is awning style, so it's going to flip up like this. So that means that if it's raining, the rain's not going to come in and get your table wet. But of course, with Safari Condo, everything is not going to be damaged by water. It's one of the features of a Safari Condo, which is nice. So if you ever did let water in, you don't have to worry about damaging things. Now, let's leave the dinette area. We'll look at this fridge area. So we do have the solar charge controller here on this cabinet door. And we have a huge storage cabinet, more promotional materials in here. And you can see plenty of space. You can also modify this and put IKEA baskets that slide out if you want to. I've seen a lot of owners that do that. And then below we have the fridge. And if you're sitting in the dinette, you can open it from that side. There's the freezer. And a very large fridge, especially for a trailer of this size and weight. So, and this is a 2-way fridge, so it does run on both propane and electricity. And a neat trick is if you're in the kitchen, you can open it from this side as well. So nice feature for sure. So moving along, we have these nice coat hooks on the bathroom wall. And we'll get to the bathroom last, but let's just swing around and we'll look at the rear area. So once again, we're going to have a huge amount of storage. I believe under one of the benches we will have the furnace and hot water heater, and yeah, there it is right there. But then you can see at the back a massive storage area with an outside door access as well. And on the other side, we have just a huge amount of storage. So a little bit taken up by some mechanical piece there, but huge amount of storage, also with outside access. So I love that with all of this interior storage, you have access from both the inside and the outside. And let's just take a look under these back cushions and see if there's anything there. And yeah, even here, whoops, we have a storage area, which you can see. Now, those two cushions will fill in the middle area, and they have wood on the bottom of them, so you don't need a table or anything. You just put them in the gap, and you have a king bed, or you can leave it the way it is, and it's going to function as two twin beds, so it's up to you. And I'll just show you, this is a heated area, so right at the very back corner, we do have vents to let the heat come in, so it's going to stay nice and toasty back here if it's cold outside. We have two more of those awning style windows, or three actually. So one on this side, one at the back, and then we have the one that's sort of half in the bed area and half in the kitchen area right here. And you'll also see that we have reading lights, one on each side. I believe those might be optional. And then there's plenty of lighting back here as well, LED lights. We also have at the top a fan to keep things nice and cool. And then if we swing around, you're going to see that we have the roof-mounted air conditioner. So most Safari condos have them mounted under a bench, but this particular trailer has it mounted on the roof. And it's a Truma Aventa. It's a very quiet, high-end air conditioner for sure. Now, of course, we also have a ton of storage back here as well. And all overhead storage, beautiful sliding doors, and plenty of space. So of course our trailer doesn't have this because we have the Safari condo model where the roof lifts up. And so because of the folding nature of it, you can't have overhead storage. We would just love to have this much storage. And same thing, wrapping all the way around at the back here. This is extremely deep. So I don't know if you can see, but it's almost my entire arm in terms of depth. It is a little bit triangular because of the slope of the roof of the trailer, however, but still a ton of space. And then on this side, we have one more small one. And these sliding doors are reminding me that I should probably show you that the storage at the bottom is also accessible with sliders as well. So if you don't want to take your bed apart or whatever, you can actually get at it this way as well. Last but not least on the storage front, right beside the smaller overhead cabinet, we have a closet which hangs over the bed. And let's just take a look inside of here. So you've even got a place for hanging your dress clothes, which is a nice thing to have for sure. Let's swing around to the kitchen. So plenty of counter space. I love this countertop extension. So it does go over top of your feet on the bed, but I don't think that's going to have any impact on your sleeping. But when you're using the kitchen, it's going to give you that extra space that you want. There is plenty of space just around everything too. Even around the sink with this rounded area here, it creates some more counter space. So I'm loving that. And we have a 2-burner Dometic stove. And this is the one with that tricky top you have to pull up. And then we have a Dometic kind of marine style sink with a fold-up faucet, and that does turn this way and that. We have this is exactly the same setup. Well, we have a Suburban stove, but the sink is exactly the same as in our trailer. We love it. It gets the job done, works fine. So just above the sink here, we have our control panel. So we have two 120-volt outlets. We have a switch that will either allow us to use these outlets or the microwave. You can't use them both at the same time. That's just to prevent you from popping any fuses. We have the light and dimmer switch, So if I hit that, it turns everything off in the trailer. And then if I hit it, it turns it on. We can dim as well. Then you have the control for the Truma furnace and hot water heater. And we have our light switches. And then we have USBs. That's an A and a C. And that's also an A and a C. And then finally we have our monitors for the battery, the fresh, the gray, and the black tank. Also the water pump switch is here. So just continuing on up above the sink, and there's our microwave. It is just a standard microwave. It's not a convection microwave, but very handy to have if you have electricity or if you've got an inverter installed on the trailer. And this is probably a good time to talk about the fact that with Safari Condo, the level of equipment is really up to you. So you start with a basic trailer and then you go through a build list and you choose the features that you want. So if you want an inverter, you choose it. If you don't want it, you don't have to pay for something that you don't want. So I think it's a great way to buy an RV. We have a solar monitor here as well. And this particular unit does have another counter extension here in the doorway. I think this trailer has plenty of counter space, so I probably wouldn't spec that option if it were me. Of course, there's a ton of storage underneath the kitchen as well, and we'll take a look at that. And underneath the sink here is pretty much exactly, this is all we have in our trailer. And we are able to fit everything that we need in this space. Pots, pans, all of our utensils, dishes, everything. And of course we have all the storage above as well here. And then we have these drawers as well next to it. And so the amount of storage in this kitchen is just tremendous. These are huge, really deep drawers and plenty of space. So we've got 1, 2, and down at the bottom here is just a huge open space. All right, let's check out the wet bath in the F2114. And as you can see, we have a corner sink. This one has a window, and you can see we have our shower pan. It is raised a little bit, and we'll do the height check in a second. You've got a shower curtain, and it does go all the way around. I would love to see that just they kind of created a shower pan rather than using a shower curtain. Just, you know, it can stick to you. Although this is a big wet bath, so you probably wouldn't have that problem in this one. You do have a toilet, of course, and that's not a cassette toilet. There is a black tank in this trailer. I'll put the tank sizes up on the screen. And we have a toilet paper holder, which will sit behind the shower curtain when you put the shower curtain all the way around. And we also have a nice medicine cabinet. And you'll see Safari Condo always rates everything for how much weight you can put in it, which is nice. And you can see that here we have the cover for the toilet. So when you're taking your shower, you can actually cover the toilet so it doesn't get wet. And that also gives you a great spot to put your shampoo and your soap and so on while you're taking your shower. So we have the same basic setup in our trailer as well. All right, let's do the height test now. Just remember as I head into the bathroom in the 2114 that I'm exactly 6 feet tall. And as you can see, I can just stand up straight. I can just feel my hair touching, so it's maybe 6'1" in here. I did kick off my shoes. Now in terms of space, right away I'm backing into the corner sink. I believe this is an option. It's one that I wouldn't take. I'd prefer to have the extra space, and the kitchen sink is right there. But if you're not comfortable washing your hands in the kitchen sink, you do have this as an option. There's still room to take a shower, but I just feel like it would be better without this. In terms of sitting on the toilet, and yeah, plenty of space. Not a huge amount of elbow room, but there's definitely enough. Plenty of leg room, so plenty of space. In terms of ventilation, the window does open, and of course we can turn on the ceiling fan, and that's going to get plenty of ventilation going through here. So all in all, we're giving this bathroom 2 thumbs up.
It's time for pros and cons, and we'll start with the pros. First up for pros is the modern decor. With a mix of aluminum walls with gray and white cabinets, the vibe is modern but without feeling trendy. And if it all feels too gray, you can spec different colored cushions to brighten it up. My second pro is the amazing amount of storage in this rig. Under benches, overhead cabinets, and the kitchen all add up to a place for everything. My final pro is the lightweight. Given the large sleeping spaces and storage, a base dry weight of 2,353 pounds is impressive. On the con side, a part of me wonders if the trailer is too light given its large side profile. It makes me wonder how it would handle crosswinds. For what it's worth though, I have no experience towing one, and I've not heard complaints from owners on our Facebook group. My second con is upfront price. At 58,709 Canadian or 48,709 US dollars before options, this trailer is not cheap. But keep in mind that resale value is good and the composite construction means a long lifespan, so overall ownership costs are competitive. My final con and the biggest problem with this trailer is that the Alto 2414 is only another $7,000 more with its dual axles, even more space, and most importantly, a dry bath. If I were looking at large Safari condos, I'd want the one with the dry bath. All in all, the F2114 is very much the in-between Safari Condo Alto. It's a lot bigger than the 17-foot models, but not as luxurious as the 24-foot model. It offers a 4-person dinette, 2 large beds, and its weight makes it towable by 3,500-pound tow capacity vehicles. So if you have a smaller tow vehicle, this just might be the biggest trailer that your car can tow. So I can see the appeal. What do you think? Is this the ideal mix of big size and small weight? Let me know in the comments. If you'd like to see the similar 17-foot model, I've linked it on the screen. Thanks for watching, and take care.